I said in my last video that I would give an update if there had been any new information, and whilst there has been more information about animals and coronavirus infection, nothing particularly has changed in terms of the advice that the Scottish SPCA would give at this time. There have been mentions of cats being experimentally infected with coronavirus. There were two cats in question in China. Mention of a cat in Belgium being contracting coronavirus from an owner that was infected. But there's no evidence whatsoever at the moment that any of those animals would be infectious to people, whilst there was cat-to-cat transmission of the virus in the China experiment. It's unclear at this stage, particularly whether those cats would have been infectious to people or not. Now, given I just looked it up, there's close to 1 million people now that have been infected with coronavirus around the world, and we've got a very tiny number of potential incidents of animals being infected. And that doesn't mean to say that animals won't be infected if they're in close contact with an owner, but that does not mean that infection itself will turn out into something that is infectious then to people. As I said in the last video, anything with a pulse essentially could be considered to transmit infection, but then equally anything else in somebody's house could do the same thing. So the recommendations haven't changed from us at all. Wherever possible, please do continue to keep your cat indoors. If that's not possible, then try and restrict access to the outdoors. If you are somebody and you regularly have a visit from a cat that doesn't belong to you, then I would suggest that you don't let them into your house and just restrict them to your garden, and certainly don't make contact with the cat. As we've said before, and in our FAQs on our website, there's always a potential that animals could transmit infection just by simply having it on their fur. So, and particularly if you are infected with coronavirus, if you're one of these unfortunate people that has contracted it and you are in contact with your pet, trying to restrict that contact as much as possible, and also try and ensure that maybe somebody else is looking after them where at all possible. Our general advice about dog walking hasn't changed. If you are infected, certainly only be taking your animal out to go to the toilet. If at all possible, avoid having to take it out for walks, and ask somebody else to do that for you. And certainly avoid touching other people's dogs and other pets when you're outdoors. There is the theoretical risk of contracting it. It's very small, and you're far more likely to contract coronavirus from touching or being in contact with another person. So social distancing is still very important, but you should also consider social distancing to include people's animals as well, and your own pets. And if you are trying to social distance within a household because you're infected and you're trying to avoid infecting other people in the household, then just remember that if you contact with your pet and they go and then have contact with another member of the household, that is a potential route for transmission. So wherever possible, try and reduce that. As usual, I would direct you to our website if you want to know any more, and our helpline can give you answers to any questions that aren't answered there. And if there is any new evidence, anything comes to light that changes our position on this, then we will of course let you know. Thank you.